the Warriors. And they beat the Knicks last night. Knicks didn't have Julius Randle. Warriors didn't have Wiggins. Neither team at full strength. But I think the Warriors, they won their 7th straight road game, are interesting. And, I was thinking about this. There's a hip-hop star in Atlanta called Killer Mike. Fascinating guy. He just won a Grammy. He was on Bill Maher, who I'm a fan of, recently. And they were having this discussion about Trump and Biden. And both are polarizing people. Trump's really polarizing, but Biden, a lot of people not into it. And so at one point, Killer Mike had a great line. He sided with Trump over Biden on something, and Bill Maher was kind of taken back and surprised, and he said, pick your policy, not your person. I don't have to like a person, I like a policy. And I thought that was an interesting way to frame it, whether I agreed with him or not. It was an interesting way for Killer Mike to frame it. Pick your policy. Don't get paralyzed by a person. And Draymond Green's fascinating because of his suspensions and his drama and the punch. And yes, I do employ him at the volume. But one of the things I've always said is don't be paralyzed by the name. Pick your stats. Here are numbers that are indisputable since Draymond Green came back off his suspension. He has literally changed the Warriors completely. Not only are they 12-3 over the last 15 games, 7 straight road wins, 11-3 in February, points per game, second in the league. Assists per game, first in the league. Second in the league in opponent three-point percentage. They're now 4th in up and down for our radio audience that can't see it. They're a top 4 or 5 team in the NBA since he arrived. People get paralyzed by the name. But he's done this, but he's done that. He punched him. Okay. This is what I care about. It's pro sports, not church. It's not the YMCA. It's professional sports. Win games. I'm not looking for people who are perfect. We're all vulnerable. And so many fans get caught up in that. But it's interesting. This year, more than any year, I would argue, Draymond's even more valuable. Why? Because this Warrior team has 4 very young players. 2 have size. And to beat the Lakers, Denver, or Minnesota in the West, they'll need bigs, active bigs. Small ball thing is done. The West is too big. The good teams are too big. And between Trace Jackson Davis, 6'9", forward center, Jonathan Kuminga, 6'7.5", 6'8", very good, very young, very twitchy, and Brandon Podjemski, you got 3 guys, plus Moses Moody, make it 4, that are going to be very valuable for the Warriors. And the key is this year, there's nobody in the league that coaches on the floor better than Draymond Green. When they mic him during the games on ESPN or TNT, constantly coaching, huddle, floor, free throws, constantly coaching. And the reason it's so important this year for the Warriors is it's their strangest team yet, but perhaps their most talented. That somebody has to bridge the gap because this team is only 2 things. Either really old guys, Steph, Clay, Draymond, Chris Paul, or really young guys. Kuminga, Moses Moody, Davis, Pods. So who's going to bridge the gap? And they have to get these young guys with size. They have Saric, but he's an older player. He's not going to get huge minutes in the postseason. They have to get these young guys going quickly. Next 25, 30 games. So they can play with the Lakers size and Denver size and Minnesota size. So I don't think there's ever been a time, maybe early in the dynasty, that Draymond is more valuable to bring the old and the young together. LeBron James has never loved playing with young guys. He didn't want to be a mentor. He didn't want to teach how to play basketball. But maybe he's so great, he doesn't have time for it. I don't think Michael Jordan loved young players either. He was so great, didn't have time for it. Figure your game out. But Draymond's not giving you 29 a game. So part of the intangibles which make him so special is, and this is why Kerr defended him on the punch against Jordan Poole, is he changes practice. He changes tenacity. He changes effort. He changes field goal percentage. He is a catalyst. He's tough, but he's also a remarkable, and the numbers bear it out, has a remarkable ability to elevate younger players. And Golden State's got 4, and all of them are going to need to play big minutes to beat a Denver, Minnesota Lakers. Otherwise, they just don't match up. They're too small. They beat the Knicks, 7 straight road wins. Steph's still the offensive centerpiece. But Draymond remains a massive catalyst, and Steph talked about another road win after. All right, the other NBA story, fascinating. There's two young bigs. And when you say bigs, they're long, but Chet Holmgren, OKC from Gonzaga, and Wemby for the Spurs. These guys are over 7 feet, can put the ball on the deck, can shoot threes. Well, last night they faced one another. Wemby was remarkable. Kid's 20 years old, 28 points, 5 for 7 on threes, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 blocks. He is something else. Who's blocking a 7'1" guy's jumper? Do you know how high you have to get? All the pre-draft analysts on Wemby said he's very thin. He will be pushed around. He leads the league in blocks. And listen to these splits. He is getting better really quickly. In October, November, December, last calendar year, 19 points a game, 44% shooting, 29%. Uh-oh. This year, 23 a game, almost 50%, 37% on threes. Okay? He's AD plus Giannis, except right now, he's already a better shooter than Giannis. And he's much better, much earlier than Giannis was. And though he's not as thick, he's not as strong as AD, he's already a better rim protector. He's a dominating shot blocker above the 10. So I was thinking about this morning. Every about 10 years in the NBA, we get something we've never seen before. In the 60s, late 60s, it was Kareem. Late 70s, it was Magic. In the 80s, it was Michael. In the 90s, it was Shaq. In the early 2000s, LeBron. Close to 2010, Steph. And now Wemby. The Magnificent Seven. A lot of great players. But these guys are sensational players, and they're like nothing you've ever seen before. It's different than just being gifted and special. Kobe was. We'd seen it. It was MJ, and it was better. The sky hook with Kareem. Magic's size and passing from a point guard. MJ's verticality and relentlessness. Shaq's power, size, strength. Steph's shooting, and LeBron's everything. What you are watching with Wemby, he's Kevin Durant, but much better and more dominant defensively. He's Giannis, but a much better shooter. He's AD, but with much more length and size. He is Wilt Chamberlain with a jumper. It is something to behold. And as I said earlier, he's getting better really quickly, barring any catastrophic injuries. You know, we're getting closer to the end with LeBron. Who does the league hand it to? We talked about this earlier this week. LeBron is such a big brand, and he doesn't necessarily want to give it up. Like a Michael or a Magic, Shaq, he likes the endorsements, he likes the brand, he likes the net worth. LeBron's not giving that thing up. This, not Giannis, not Embiid, this is the future of the league. And it is something else. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.